Hi everyone, I'm happy to welcome you on our Startup Academy first lecture. I hope that you can hear me, you can see me. As agreed, we are going to make all our lectures in English. So that's why use your Google Translator in case you need some support from this angle. Let us wait for, 15-20 seconds while the rest of our participants join. Okay, I see that we have a chat and we are welcoming each other. Let's maybe do a quick checkup if we have all our universities here. So you use a map, how to pronounce correctly. Are you here? Please put some sign in the chat that you are here with us. Okay, wonderful. Assem, are you here with us? UTM here. Okay, Assem at UTM is she here? UTM here. Okay, Sharp. Yeah, thank you. My colleagues help me with all names of universities. Please just write your university name just to be sure that you connected and we can start. Yeah, just to avoid some issues with the connection from any of our universities. So as you remember, we have 6 universities in this program, and that's great. But so we can have some issues with this expanded activities. So that's why we want to be sure that all you are here. So I see USARP, I see, okay, so KGU, UTM, only one person I saw, UCM, State University. Okay, so let's maybe start. I believe it was enough time for others to join us. So, and I will share my screen. I will share the presentation that we have today. And I hope, okay, wonderful, you can see my screen. Great. So, UTM, great. Okay, so let me start. Let me again welcome you on this session. We expect to have it for this first lecture within the next hour and maybe 1 hour and a half. Depends on how it will go and depends on your questions. The structure of all lectures actually is following that we have online live session with our speaker. In average, it will be 45-60 minutes, and then it will be Q&A session, questions from your side, and use a chance to ask our speakers, because all of them have some practical experience in the topic they are going to present you. So for you, it's important to understand how to implement it, how to use it in your specific project. So that's why don't waste time, don't hesitate to ask them. Coming back to our first lecture, so it's introduction to the startup ecosystem in general, and this session will be led by me, Evgeny Frolov. Short bio about myself. I'm working with startups since 2015. I'm working with startups through the whole continent, from Central Asia to Central Eastern Europe. So in Kazakhstan, in Russia, in Moldova, in Czech Republic. And through these activities, I got a good overview of startups and pretty strong experience in consulting them and developing them. I think that more or less I was working and still working with more than 300 startups. And besides that, I'm a part of several acceleration programs. Again, so in Kazakhstan and in Czech Republic, we are leading several acceleration programs in Moldova as well. I also have corporate experience working with innovations in Gazprom Neft, not a small company in Russia. And now I'm working on the ecosystem level with Startup Moldova, helping to develop and implement several initiatives to boost the ecosystem in your country. So that's why I believe I have something to share with you, and I'm happy to do that because it's really great to create an impact and to share knowledge with those who would like to become a startupper and entrepreneur and somehow change the world around, change the world in general. So that's great. Thank you for connecting to our program. So coming to a bit general overview. So why we believe it's important to develop startup ecosystem and to help launching, creating startups. So if you see on the screen, the graph shows so how actually the startup world ecosystem in general are changing since 2013, when we had only 4 ecosystems working with actively with startups and successfully with startups. In 2019, it was already 84 ecosystems produced unicorns, and unicorn, it's the status of the startup having the evaluation of more than $1 billion dollars. So this is already, let's say, a great level for an ecosystem. This is our aim, of course, for startup Moldavian startup ecosystem, and we believe that our initiatives aim to that. Coming back to the value of startups. So why it's important? If you check the statistics in different sources, the data shows that actually the startup can create 3 times more jobs in the economic in the country than 10 years old classic business. So if you again think about that carefully, you will understand that it's true. Because when we are talking about old-fashioned business, when we are talking about classic business, so classic industries, there, okay, some companies are opened. Of course, they open some new positions and hire new people, but in the same time, pretty similar number of companies in this industry is closing. So that's why, of course, they open new positions, hire new people, but the same number of people losing their jobs are fired. Companies are closed. The other situation is with startups. Startups actually create new industries, create new directions, new synergy between industries. So if we invent something completely new, we create a new industry. Of course, we create new job position and we hire their people. So we are not just substituting, some closed companies, but it's completely new. That's why actually startups are helping to grow the economy. Startups are helping to grow the labor market and develop it and accelerate the GDP of the country to create some unfair advantages for the local companies and bring the ecosystem in the country on the high level of the worldwide map of economy. So that's from the point of view of the economy. But if you are talking about personal stories, of course, dealing with startups, dealing with innovations, creating, launching such level of companies grab a lot of attention from the international community. And when a great startup appear from even small country, this country immediately appear on the ecosystem map, on the map of other industries, other ecosystem players, and new investments, new brains, new technologies come to this ecosystem. So if we compare, for example, I have heard such questions. Okay, Moldova is a small country. What we are going to do? Why we count that there are some unicorns here? So if we compare, for example, it with Estonia, which is also not a big market, not a big company, but as far as I remember, Estonia already have 4 unicorns. So that's already a huge result. And I believe that the success of the ecosystem not really connected with with the fact how big is the market. So it is interconnected with a lot of other things. That's why we believe that Moldova has a chance, and can use it. You already in the ecosystem, you already have success stories which you can Google and be inspired. Like for example, Saltage. It's a Moldovan company in fintech already working on the international level. Like Babymoon, for example, it's a Moldovan company with Moldovan founder working in the healthcare industry already on the international level, implementing some projects in Africa with United Nations. So you have some examples which actually bring Moldova to the worldwide level of ecosystems, and so take your time to Google these examples to inspire by them and follow their road. So to push the whole ecosystem and people to this way, we initiated together with our 6 universities, with our partners, we, we launched a Startup Academy for University program, which is 12 weeks pre-acceleration program to help students to train entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial mindset, to get to know new startup methodologies, and of course we focus not only to give you some theoretical knowledge, but also to let you train your skills, to let you realize your idea, to make your dreams happen, let's say. So that's why we actually ask you to create teams, to brainstorm about ideas. And small advice from my side, do not limit yourself. Try to dream when you brainstorm about ideas, because what is the difference? We'll come to this later. But what is the difference with which distinguish startups and let's say entrepreneurs in general? It's of course the level of thinking. So startup have to think big, and a founder has to think big. So that's why stretch your ambitious and try to come with really great worldwide game-changing ideas. And from other side, I also already shared with you this approach. But for us, it's not just to share with lectures knowledge. You can watch all these lectures online from big players like 500, like Y Combinator. But for us, it's important to identify in the ecosystem really these superstar teams with great and high potential ideas, and to help them to step into the ecosystem and to be supported by the ecosystem. So we are in strong connection with Moldavian ecosystem, startup ecosystem players, and we expect that best teams will be invited to continue their path to success with them. So, and again, to finalize this organizational slides, I would like to thank all our 6 universities which supported this program and give this chance to us to work with promising and talented students, and to students to have this access to knowledge and experts and to be able to realize the idea. So we can go already to the topic, and I would like to start with partially with a lecture that maybe some of you already saw yesterday, but I believe it's valuable to repeat it and to share these points with the whole audience. So why actually people having the same idea achieve different results? And the core thing here is the difference between mindsets. So mindset works as some kind of filter from our way of thinking, our background of our knowledge, and through this filter, the light of the idea generates some list of actions which we realize and achieve some results. So so in case the same people have the same idea, but they have different way of thinking, of course, they will get different results. That's why it was important for us working continuously, constantly through the whole life. And what we can get through this program is actually this startup mindset, which we hope to implement you, of course, naturally, of course, not naturally. So and we hope that this way of thinking will help you help you to achieve success. So that's why about the structure, that's why we start the lecture about the structure of the system from the, let's say, personal perspective, from the mindset. And I would like to share with you my vision on the difference between entrepreneur, businessman, and startupper. These words are pretty close to each other, but at the same time, there are some key points which make it different. So, entrepreneur in general, they have opportunistic mindset and opportunistic approach. So we see the opportunity, we try to realize it, get some money, and maybe to change something around. Of course, entrepreneur can think global, but at the end of the day, it's a matter of the opportunity. If we are talking about businessman, what is the difference between entrepreneurship and businessman? Entrepreneur and businessman, it's that the businessman has a systematic mindset. So he is thinking how to create mechanism of generating money, providing services, dealing with the client. So entrepreneur mostly can do projects by himself or herself. Businessman mostly leverage the structure of the entity, some financial leverage, whatever. So that's why it's about system, it's about mechanism. What about startuppers? So startuppers usually they have innovative mindset. So they try to invent, they try to change, they try to find another way. And this is completely different from what entrepreneurial and businessmen can do. I wouldn't say, of course, that startupper can't be an entrepreneur. Of course, good startupper has to develop himself to the entrepreneur level to be able not just to change things, but also to earn money out of these activities, and then to create a mechanism to be able to expand and to create an international company. So from some perspective, it's different level of development of the person, of the personality of the person. But from the other side, again, if we want to understand, if we want to, let's say, understand if the person like is a potential startup or whatever, so innovative mindset, the initiative to change things and find different ways, it's actually must have for the startupper. Entrepreneur, for example, can not have such mindset. Again, it's about opportunity. We see some, I don't know, business opportunity, we have a supplier, we have could contract with customers, so we can go there. So for startupper, it's not the case. Startupper is again thinking on the different levels. Coming back to the theory, what does it mean startup? So startup is a temporary organization to seek, develop, and validate scalable and sustainable business model. So if you think about, and this is important to understand, so startup is not any business that you start. No, startup, it's, as you see above, so it's about doing something in other way. It's about innovative mindset, and startup is the temporary organization. So when we actually found the scalable and sustainable business model, we switch already to the entity, to the organization, and we are starting to developing at the company. Of course, startup company in this case already also has some differences from classic companies. It's about the growth. It's even about monthly growth. Maybe you saw that for startup, the graph of the sales of the growth of the startup should look like a hockey stick. So so it should be like that, and this is not very usual, maybe obvious for a classic business, and they usually grow like this or even like this. If you are a part of, I don't know, business or economical cathedra, maybe you already know about life cycle of the product, life cycle of the company. So basically, it's developed like that. Of course, when startup will become a more elder business, they can also follow this. But at the end of the day, when we are talking about the start of the journey, again, it should be a hockey stick. So coming back to this explanation of what startup means, again, so we are looking for a sustainable and scalable business model. This is the core thing. And when we find it, so we can go to the next level. About startup world, we use in startup world, if you think about this slide which I shared with you, so if startupper has to have an innovative mindset, if we try to create something differ, so we have to use let's say scientific approach. Why? Because when we invent something, when we create something completely new, there is a huge field zone of uncertainty in front of us. So, and where is this? And if we check, let's say, other industries, the similarity is in the scientific field. They also have some assumptions about how this world look like. looks like, and then they do some tests to prove this. So in startup world, when we innovate, when we invent something completely new, we assume we consider startupper as an inventor. And from this perspective, so of course we have to use scientific tools to develop our projects and to move forward. Of course, first of all, it should be curiosity and to be curious how this actually world is operating, is working. But we have some other tools which I will shortly cover in this lecture, and we will go through it later on our lectures. It's like Hardy cycles, for example, which we use as sprints, weekly sprints, or bi-weekly sprints to test and confirm our assumptions. It's what's important also to understand, especially for you, if it's your, let's say, first experience of entrepreneurship. Because when I was, I don't know, 18, 12, 20 years old, I also was thinking, and I actually graduated from management. So I also was thinking, okay, give me please a corporate, and I will show you how to manage it. I will show you how to make billions of dollars. But unfortunately, the life is a bit different, and you sometimes you will fail, sometimes you will win. But what's important for you to understand that fail it's obvious. That's normal. That's not a big story. And that will not crash your career or whatever. There are some business cases. I can't remember what was the name of the company, but when even in big corporates, let's say middle level employees fail with some deals for $1 million or $1 billion, smart directors, CEOs, they usually will not fire this person because they've just invested into the education of this person millions of euros through his or her fail. So it will be too expensive to fire this person after this great experience. So that's why to understand that, okay, fails bring you an experience, and that's great. And coming back to our scientific approach, great scientist, great researcher usually knows that, okay, in average, they need 10 attempts to succeed, to get the right results through the tests. And when they fail 1, 2, 3 times, so they feel the energy, they feel that the success is close. It's only 7 attempts left to achieve the result. So you have to keep in mind this approach and use it and implement it into your mindset. It will help you a lot, and that's really true how it works. I know entrepreneurs, startuppers already launched, I don't know, 4, 5 startups. They failed, even though they found some investors. Okay, they failed from different reasons. But, and for example, on the sixth attempt, this guy launched a really great company, which now I think evaluates to 2 or 3 million euros. And again, so he, for next attempts, he get more and more experience, and the probability of success is much higher. From the point of view of venture investors, they also are more open to invest into founders with 1 or 2 failures rather than in the founder with only first startup. So that's why also I dare you to use this program, even to get your first fails, and to raise your probability of the next success. And this is, yes, a great picture just to show you that you don't need to stop yourself because the success is almost there. I wanted to share with you about startups. So we all think that, okay, I have a great idea, I just need to get the result. Unfortunately, what you think, you plan on and you see it on the top of your screen, it's not the same as it happens in the reality. There are a lot of ups and downs, circumstances, and so on. So you have to do a lot to succeed. And even though, as you see on the screen, you think that the finish is there, you can see it, and the price is big, and you can just already touch it. But you see on the picture down the screen that it's even not a finish. It's you will achieve the level which you see right now as a finish. You will realize that there is at least the same or even bigger road up front, and this is normal. Usually, startups they operate. Depends, of course, on the industry and the idea. They operate till some successful exit of founders. I don't know, from 5 till 10 years. So some startups, of course, when they become international company, they have enough convert into Google and acquire others. But if you are talking about basic startup exits, so it's finished on the IPO, or it's finished by the acquiring of bigger players, and it usually happens in 5-10 years. So this is basic startup path. Maybe some of you already heard about that. Yeah, there is a value of this, and this is normal. That's okay. If you remember, I told you that so we as inventors we invent something completely new. So we don't know how the market will react on that, and what will happen in general. In general. So if you saw a statistic, a worldwide statistic, in the portfolio of venture companies of business angels, in average, they count that only one startup from 10 will generate enough profit for them. I would say that statistic is a bit worse. Because experienced angel investors, they told that you have to actually count not from 10 startups, you have to count from 100 startups, and with such big portfolio, 10 startups will be more or less successful, but another 90 will die or will be in a best scenario on the break-even point. So I just wanted to show you that so it will be let's say not easy, but it's still feasible, and you have to understand what kind of cycles you will go through if you launch a startup. So this, yes, value of this influence a lot. Not all startups will survive. That's normal. But again, that's rise the probability of your success. Now we can go on the upper level and discuss, to talk about the startup ecosystem in general. So there are different levels, and I will share with you this slice of the cake, how the startup ecosystem looks like. So you see here on your screen the timeline. And this timeline is connected to different stages of the startup. So if we first check, see business development level, so the level of the development of your business idea. So it's okay for the startup to be on the idea stage in through 3-6 months. So it's enough time let's say, to validate the idea and already to be ready, to switch to another level. So if you just go with your idea, I don't know, for a year, for two, 3 years, whatever. So that means that there is a high probability that you will never realize your idea. There is a high probability that someone already realized your idea, and there is a high probability that technologies already went far, far away, and there is no already an issue, a gap, a pain on the market that you could solve. So that's why timing is crucial for the startup. And again, if you can't develop your idea within 6 months, 6 months as a maximum, my advice would be to sit down with a team and maybe to brainstorm and find another idea which will inspire you enough to move faster. So after 6 months, in average, from 6 to, let's say, 9 months, it will take you to create the first version of your product and already to get a customer feedback to get first sales. So within 9 months from the appearance of the idea, so it is expected that you will get the first version and you get already some sales. Then what goes next? Next, when you have first, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 sales, so you have to focus on the growth of the sales. Actually, in this scenario, what is expected from the industry and from the ecosystem, that you will grow at least on the country level. Depends, of course, on the country, but the aim is there. So to grow on the country level from the appearance of your idea in maximum 1.5 year, okay, 2 years maximum. So in 1.5 year, you have to grow to the level when you are ready to expand to other countries, preferably. So of course it depends. I'm showing you the ideal scenario. I know companies, for example, which expand to other countries, regions already in 1 year. I know companies that work on the first version of the product for a year, so for 12 months, and still did not go to the market. But in average, if we are talking about time frame, this is how it should look like when you have a healthy team, great idea, and know how to make this happen. So 36 months idea stage, 6-9 months MVP, MVP, 6-15 months local growth, and then already an expansion to other countries. Coming to another level. So we have a specific methodology. Again, we will touch it later on, not in this lecture, but I still refer to it. So we are using customer development methodology in our program, and this methodology is also connected to the different stages of the company development. So in 3-6 months, you have to find problem solution fit. It gives you already the right to go to the next level and to find product market fit when you have good enough product which fits to the expectation and values of your customers. And then you grow, you actually structure the company, you create a structured departments, people, you hire people responsible for sales, customer relations, accounting, whatever. And in 1 year, 1 year and a half, or sorry, in 2 years, 2 years and a half, you already ready to become international company. If we are talking about ecosystem players, so there is the whole infrastructure which supports the startup on the path to success. So because again, we are talking about inventions, we are talking about completely new things, and in most cases we are talking about people who actually didn't have entrepreneurial experience before, but they created something so great and try to create company based on that. So here there is a huge support, and this is required. And if you check successful ecosystems which generate enough good enough startups, entrepreneurs, and technologies. So in US, in each city, there are co-working space, there are accelerators, there are incubators. In China, in UK, I would not say in Europe. Europe is different. So in Israel also, there are a lot of support from acceleration program, from co-working spaces. There are a lot of support from the government, from taxation. So this is normal to get this support, and this is the investments which is needed to make the ecosystem successful and generate great startups. So if we are talking about idea stage, if you remember here, 3-6 months, so here, this is where we are with you. So it's some kind of pre-incubation, pre-acceleration programs which provide to a startupper methodology, knowledge, some kind of mentorship, and help them to go through these phases in order to find problem solution fit. When the idea is validated through this problem solution fit, so we can actually go to the incubator. Usually, incubator is it can merge pre-incubation program stage, but better, let's say, if the incubator, I would say private or backed by VC fund. So the incubator is focusing on those founders, those startuppers who already have done their homework. So that means that they validate the idea and will not spend resources of the incubator on this validation. So in the best world, in the best scenario, you have to be accepted by the incubator in order to help you to structure your sales cycle, to help you to set up some procedures, processes, and to formalize, let's say, your idea. Then we go to the acceleration level. So accelerator, which come from their name, usually help to accelerate the business, which help us to understand that they focus actually on the sales growth, to sales growth to cover the local market. There are some international accelerators, and they focus on the international expansion, but it's a different story. So when you are advanced enough as a project, so you address to the accelerator and they help you to grow. If you want to expand to the other country, there are some soft landing programs or soft landing accelerators, and soft landing means, okay, you land in the specific country. These accelerators usually help you to get to know the ecosystem, legislation, culture, and so on. This is commonly used in China as a big market, in US as a big market, and of course their cultures are completely different from each other and for us as well. So that's why that's pretty good idea to use soft landing accelerators when you enter such big markets. It can be some, it can puzzle you a bit, let's say. The difference between incubator and the accelerator, because in different ecosystems usually used some more advanced, abbreviation in their names. So I would say not all programs called acceleration program are truly accelerators. So you have to refer to their focus, what they help you to do. So if they focus, if they provide an expertise and help you to grow your sales, okay, then it's accelerator. If they help you to find problem solution fit, to validate your idea, most probably it's an incubator, even though it calls as accelerator. Going to money, to investments. Everybody's loving it, I guess. So here also there is a connection of stages of timeline. I will try to go through it quickly. So we have on different stages of development of your idea, different types of investors. If we are talking about idea stage, so-called also pre-seed stage, usually you can get investments from 3F investors. If maybe you have heard about that, but that means friends, family, and fools. Fools not in a way that these people don't understand life, but fools because the risk is so high, but they are ready to risk by their money. Because earlier startup, in the earlier stage, the risk is higher. That's why, so usually investors of such type are ready to deal with such stage of the company. There are the way to get investments on this stage, on the idea stage, is crowdfunding platforms. Usually it's more relevant for hardware startups when you try to create something that you can touch, let's say. So and for art projects, some design projects, crowdfunding is also fit. So usually ticket size on this level is from 10,000 to 50K. It's risky to earn more. It's risky to risk by more money. So that's why ticket size is no more actually than 50K. And what startups are looking here on this level usually from investors is money. And there is, as you see on the screen, there is difference. On different stages, the value from investor changed. While you're growing, you expect already from the investor to become more your partner rather than your bank. So when we are going to the next stage, 6 to 9 months, it's already seed stage, pre-seed, seed, let's say, depends on the ecosystem. Here already act angel investors and early stage VCs. Here ticket size might be up to 100, but what I face, for example, in the ecosystem, even in some countries on the idea stage, people try to fundraise 300, 400K. It's not, let's say, healthy, but let's say it's up to the ecosystem, up to investors, up to the startup. So I saw recently a Polish startup from Poland. They actually it's seed stage. Yeah, sorry, I will go to this sample later on. So here you expect from your investor not only money but also business development expertise. They have to help you to develop your business. So next stage is in 6-15 months. It's seed stage. Here usually operate early stage investors. In some cases, it can be angel investors because, for example, for US investors, 100K it's not a big deal, to invest. I know that investors syndicate in different ecosystem, actually, they can invest more than 1 million euros, up to 1.5 million. So I know such examples. That's why, so angel investors, it's not only about small ticket size, but again, depends on the ecosystem. Coming back, seed stage, early stage VC funds, the ticket size is 150, 500, and you actually need smart money. What does mean smart money? It means that besides money, you expect from the investor that they bring the expertise. If you are developing, I don't know, fintech solution, so then for you it's more reasonable to get investments from the VC fund focusing on fintech solutions, or which were created based on some bank departments, for example, rather than from, I don't know, health tech VC funds. So there is no reason, of course, because they have an expertise in health tech, they will not help you. They can give you only money. So, and money is not an issue usually for a good project with high potential. That's why you need smart money. About difference of ticket sizes, I would say here you see on the screen samples, how it usually works in standard ecosystem, I would say like that. But I know that there is difference. I know that seed stage ticket size, for example, in US, in UK as well, can be more than 1 million. I know that, for example, this sample, this Polish startup, they had a seed investments of $2 million $2 million, and they are looking for round A, these 18 million dollars. So, which is not standard based on my experience. But okay, they have a hardware, they are more advanced ecosystem. But usually, as you see on the screen, on round A, you can get from 1 million to 3 millions in general. You are looking for growth expertise to expand to other countries, to other regions. So you address here on the international VC, again, this specific focus in the industry where you develop your project. And then it's round B from 3 to 10 million in average, then round C and so on. So this is summary of all these stages of the startup PaaS startup ecosystem, who acts here, how it looks like, and when, and to whom you could address to. I would like to give a word to my colleague Mary, if she is still here, and yeah, we would like also to share with you which ecosystem players exist on the Moldavian market, in order to help you to be oriented and to understand where, to whom, and what kind of support you can get. Mary, if you're here,
yeah,
ready.
I'm here. Yeah. Thank you very much, Evgeny. I'll try to do my best in English, but we'll talk about Moldovan startup ecosystem, which means that Evgeny goes to like a dictionary through all these startup meaning, startup things, to understand better how it works and how to position it, your idea, where to find resources, your network, how to grow and approach the right expertise. So here I will share with you what we are doing here in our country, in Moldova. Let's share my screen. Present. So do you see that? Yeah. So we'll talk about Moldovan startup ecosystem, and I will go a bit to the history because our ecosystem, it's not so, it's a bit young, and we have few years that we started to manage things, and we'll show you where we are right now. And everything started with such event, which is called Startup Weekend. The only one event which happens in the year, and everybody just waited. Everybody you will see here, around 30 people waited this event just once a year, and now it happened around 10 editions already. And this is event Startup Weekend, one of international events. And then ATIC, Moldovan Association of ICT Companies, had a huge plan to develop infrastructure and capacity, because on this way developing places, programs, events, to develop both of this sector, employment and people, talents, and from other side competitiveness, which means developing startups. And how we do that, it's by approaching and finding and organizing different international initiatives. And here, this Startup Weekend become program of Techstars. Techstars is one of the most international program which are developing and driving such initiatives in different countries, and we are proud to be part of this network. Also, we become part of SeedStars network, where we become friends with our Evgeny Frolov. And one of another international network is Startup Genome, which is the most active and known platform on developing other ecosystems as ours, but mostly focused on biggest one. And here, beside that, we try to define our programs, not just to keep initiatives that are outside, but trying to develop our network. And we understood that, we don't have such startups yet, but we can grow people and community and initiatives as ours to do the same. And here we find a program which is Tequila Ambassadors, because everything related to developing the ecosystem for till now, it's supporting, we will see here, USA everywhere and Sweden government, because everything is developed with donors' money. We'll see when government also will support this sector, but they believed and are believing right now in all our strategies. And here it's like this program where we supported different initiatives, organizations that are do the same, and it looks like that. And here are different organizers of such initiatives where we are celebrated them. So if we'll go through the numbers, it looks like this one. We involved around 30,000 people, and it will, if counted, it was more than 1,000 initiatives, organization, companies that were supported. And now the number is not 10 already, $12 million that startups, companies attracted from somehow support of Tequila project related to entrepreneurial field. And more or less, this is like more than 600 events, initiatives during 6 years. This is nice. It's not only one per year, but by these initiatives, we have some results. This is like a top wall of fame of Moldova, which you can find, please, on our site, which is startupmoldova.digital, and the list of startups. And there I can go through each of them, the story behind. For example, first one, it's XOR, which we connected on one of our conferences with their investor, which become CEO, and they now are the top startups in Moldova. Second one is Planable, which is connected. We send them at one of accelerator program in Romania. And then, of course, here is the most important thing, how Evgeny told you, it's the driving of startup, of this vibe to go through this life of startupper. But even that, it's very important to have some support, which ecosystem mostly are giving to you. And you can check every one of each of those startups. Baby Moon, Soltage, which is the most known fintech startup, not only in Moldova, of course. Here is just developing team, but they are doing a lot of they are everywhere in the world, with working with the biggest banks. And you'll see others like Medical Tourism, Kido, some of newest, some are oldest, but all of them we are proud of. And here are those who are running all these initiatives. There are more, of course. I put it here mostly the initiatives like where you can learn or be involved in activities as accelerator, as more deeper. But of course, you can check again all news events that are going on our website on startupmoldova.digital. And just to go through some of them, like Moldova IT Park, you'll see this is not a place, not a program. This is something like a law. Very nice for you. You will become already as a legal entity because you'll have only 7% taxes. And now in this initiative, let's say, there are more than 700 companies. Another is, of course, Moldovan Association of ICT Companies, which is the mother of mostly all programs related to developing ICT sector in Moldova. Here you maybe heard about Tequila Academy, Tequila Academy Kids, Tequila in every school. Now we are working on Tequila in every university, and a lot of programs like First Lego League and other initiatives, not related directly to startups, but trying to develop talent, which in the end will grow companies, more sophisticated brains. Also here we have other programs like conferences, accelerator like XY, maybe you heard about them. This is a 3-month accelerator which support startups with money also. Dream Apps, it's another accelerator program, also super cool, which have 3 months programs, another tools, online learnings to help startups. BAM, it's Business Angels Moldova. If you go through the content which Evgeny told you, it's about the level when rich people are interested in startups, and here you can check on their website who and how you can have their support. Also here it's Rocket Conference. It's the most known conference here, super nice vibe, interesting network. And iHub, where we are right now, it's a hub near government in the city center. Other program for youngest is YEP Moldova. The Artcore are doing a lot of things related to develop art, media, and yes, mostly for art industry. And the next, showing shortly what is startup ecosystem about, and what is startup ecosystem about in Moldova. It's about infrastructure. Infrastructure, let's say it's the places to be there. It's like conference rooms, to organize conference rooms, to go and work somewhere, and co-working spaces, to book and meeting room like this one. And another point, it's a global opportunity which are supporting and giving to you the ecosystem. And it's not only in network that I show you before, but it's a lot of different programs, accelerator initiatives that we are sharing by our news also. It's support by webinars, webinars, courses, playbooks that are also on the website, but it's oriented to support you with needed information, to not go too much in fails, but to check a bit and to receive this support. Resources all need playbooks, library, needed support by and connections, and financial support. It's working mechanism on financial mechanism, which is called Startup Moldova Foundation. It's in progress. We will see a news about how you can receive this support. And just to go, how when you heard about 600 events initiatives, maybe you ask question how to delimitate, how you split it all these things, and I will show you how. So we divided everything related to developing startups in such pyramid, and we tried to divide which is covered and what is needed to be done. And here we have like people under 18, which start Tequila Academy kids, Tequila in every school are covering all these part. Another part, it's like people which started to be in universities and started to think about startups. And here it's like this program, Startup Academy. This is quite specific just for universities, but it's Startup Academy in general, just for people who are interested to know about how to do startups. And other programs related to teach to grow talent. Other part, it's initiatives were oriented to spread the word, to attract interest of people in what means entrepreneurship. And here is shared breakfast, initiative for communities, webinars, startup weekend, hackathons, and all of that. And later, when startups are quite ready to act faster, are accelerators. And here for their accelerator, XY accelerator, and initiatives to connect investors and startups. And here is demo day, where an event where startups showing their products in front of investors. Startup club, just club for startup CEO, and talks about their challenges. And Tech Village is an event on villages where it's we are connecting some 12 startups and 12 investors. This is organized once per year. And later it's traction or like tailored support based on needs of startups. And again, if we're talking about infrastructure, and the first picture, which we started, that we organized events in hotels, in theaters, and university, and like open spaces. And here what we have, like amazing places to be, amazing places to work. And you can maybe know about Techville, You maybe were at Artcore. It's I told you about iHub, where we are right now in the city center. We are talking about Startup City Cahul. In the south part of Moldova, we are talking about like Tequila Ambassadors, or it's a center of innovation and technology transfer in the north, which is in Belz, near University of Belz, Ale Curso. And we have Digital Park, mostly for companies more established. But what is meaning by this slide is that we have already quite very active, vibrant environment on developing startups. And the only thing that is needed, it's you and talent from students and people who are ready to do things. Another slide, I will show you what is in progress, or some most somehow to be done. It's a fintech lab at ASEM, which we already announced about. It's Power Tech lab at Technical University, which will be launched next week. Tech will place in Comrade, Business Hub in Tiraspol. It's Excellence Center on Medical University for those who are interested on medical field. Mediacore at USME. Here, I just wanted to add that there's different initiatives, different partners, donors, which are involved, but mostly are USAID and EU, Sweden and EU for Moldova money. But it's different for Mediacore. Also is involved UK, and you can research about that. And if you have any question, you can reach me on these contacts. But what I am looking for from all developing on of these things, it's to grow such unicorns. If you know what is unicorn about, okay. But if not, this is a company which ruled have estimation of the company for about $1 billion. So we are looking to grow a new such companies. And of course, everything I told you mostly are on our website, on our Medium, Facebook, LinkedIn, Telegram. Telegram, there are a lot of groups, but it's Telegram of Startup Moldova, where are spreading the word, the news, and Instagram. Clubhouse already it's not active. So this is it. Thank you. I hope that my my presentation is quite clear. Evgeny.
I hope so. For me, it was clear, and for me, it was also valuable, to be honest, to see the whole review, because I'm only the part of several initiatives, and now I see that there are a lot of behind. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for sharing this knowledge.
Thank you.
I would not imagine another people who could present it better than you. Just for our audience, I would say that Mary is the person who lead the team of Startup Moldova for several years. And thanks to her efforts and energy, a lot of things were happening and still happening in Startup Moldova ecosystem. So thank you, Mary, on behalf of the whole ecosystem.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are done with our main lecture. Unfortunately, a bit delayed, but still, as scheduled, we have several minutes for Q&A, and I hope you have some questions. So please use chat. I'm not sure, Mary, if you can somehow connect them online, but I believe not. Yes. Okay, so in any case, please use your chat, ask your questions. We will share the presentation that we presented to you today in the folder the link you can find, the link to the folder you can find in the manual. So just check it again. And our manual is live document. We updated. While you are thinking about some questions, I would like to again touch a bit our further lectures. So and further speakers. The next lecture we will have about the evolution of the idea about evolution of the market and competitive analysis. This will take place the 8th of October, so the next Friday. And please be careful, because all next lectures will take place on Thursday. So only this one and next one will be on Friday. Next ones will be on Thursdays. And we will try, based on your requests, we will try to move these lectures on a later evening time. We hope that it will not be a problem. So right now, the next lecture is scheduled for 6:30 on Friday with Lisa Gusu, who is right now CEO. I think she's CEO of Salvation, one of superstar of startup Moldavian startup ecosystem. Okay. No. Then let me thank you for this lecture. I think we still have to think about how to make it more interactive, because again, it's important that you will ask your questions to the speakers. Thank you, everyone. Yes, see you at the next session. Have a nice day and the weekend.